tell me about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Saili. Currently, I'm working in Cognizant, having 2.3 years of experience in testing.
Okay.
Apart, I'm working in as a manual test engineer, and my project is based on healthcare domain.
Okay.
Apart from my career experience, my hobbies are dancing, reading, traveling
Okay.
so far, and that's it about me.
So what is your role and responsibility in your current project?
Yeah, my role is I'm a test engineer and I have done testing on a web UI
Okay.
uh, and mostly on front end I'm working.
Okay. So in your team, can you just let me know like how many testers are working? I mean, is there any manual tester and automation separated out, or I mean, how it is working?
Yeah, in my team, automation are separated and manual are separated. There are four testers.
Okay.
Uh, two are working as an automation and two are as a manual.
Okay, great. Okay, so can you tell me what is the difference between SDLC and STLC?
In SDLC, we mostly deal to develop. In STLC, we mostly deal with for the testing of the software. The main difference in that SDLC and STLC is that, and in SDLC, the phases are a little bit different from STLC. In SDLC, we more focus on developing our product software. The involvement in SDLC, mostly the involvement is developers, and in STLC, the involvement team is a tester.
But do you think in SDLC also we have a testing phases and the deployment phases and everything?
Yeah, that is also come under SDLC as well.
Yeah. So how come
Uh,
it is related to development only?
no, means I came later on that testing part as well.
Okay, okay, fine. So can you just tell me what are the phases in STLC in a software testing life cycle? What are the phases? Can you name them?
Yes, firstly is the requirement, second is designing part, and the third is like testing. Test plan data creation, and
Okay.
inside that testing scenario, test strategy, test cases,
Mm-hmm.
test review. All this come under that phase later when the test execution completed. The next stage is sign off stage, and after the test sign off, the next stage is retrospective meetings, and after all the completion of these stages, the last stage is maintenance to maintain provide the maintenance of the project
Okay.
software.
So you said retrospective meeting. Are you sure in STLC we have retrospective something meeting? It happens?
No, sorry. In Agile, we have that meeting.
Yes, yeah, right.
But in software testing, we conduct some meetings to provide the demo of our software.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, no problem. But what I'm expecting from this answer is basically if I ask you what are the STLC phases, so I'm just expecting that like you how you have started, right? Like you have a requirement phase, then you have a test planning phase, then you have a test case development phase, then you will set up test environment, right? Then
Yeah,
you will,
test environment.
yeah, then you will execute your tests, then you have a closure cycle where you are going to see whether all the test cases you have tested, whether it's passing or maybe fulfilling the entry criteria or exit criteria
Yeah,
exactly or
right.
not. So That's what I mean. If somebody asks you this question, so that is the expected answer. So you should know the phases of the STLC phases. Okay, so there are 5 to 6 phases. So you should know this. I mean, that will be the good answer. Okay.
Okay, got it.
I know you know the answers, but yeah, I what I want to hear that like what are the steps are there. So you just need to mention the step. That's it. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, no problem. So, have you done ever sign off? I mean, your product is going to launch, okay, and your manager asks you to just check everything and just give a sign off so that we can launch our product in a production environment. So, have you done this before?
Yeah, not fully, but partially. I assisted my senior
Okay.
for the sign-off process.
What you do in sign up process?
Yeah, I have checked the traceability matrix, and I have compared all the test cases are passed, or all the test case execution are completed or not. And
Okay.
our mostly done the smoke testing, that our all the critical and important functionality of the application is working fine or not. And
Okay.
all the application major parts, critical parts are working. Everything I have checked
So,
and
do you
assisted for
So
that.
do you have, like you said, you have a smoke test. So do you have any regression suite as well, where you run before your release?
Yes, we have a regression suite as well,
Okay.
automation.
So suppose you have 2 days of time, okay, and your regression suite contain 1,000 test cases, right?
Okay, yeah.
So how do you have a one day 9 hours as a office time and another day you have a 9 hours. So you have total 18 hours of time and you have to test the 1,000 test cases. You have to run the regression test case. So how will you manage or how will you cover all the 1,000 test cases?
So for that, I have prioritized the test cases
How
according
do
to the
you
main.
prioritize?
What are the main functionality and critical functionality in our application? I sorted them,
Mm-hmm.
and I divided the test cases accordingly. So whatever the application clients want, and the application is means the features are not affecting on their business. So I have sorted them,
Okay.
divided them, the main functionality and critical functionality, and
Mm-hmm.
accordingly I will pick up the test cases and prioritize them, and I will run the main part only, and later, if I get the time and if I get the automation suite, then the lower features or very rare features, then later I will do that testing on that part.
Okay, yeah. So can you tell me what is the difference between test scenario and test case?
In this scenario, we mostly deal with the area
Okay.
in which area we need to do testing, and in I mean what
If you can give
what
me example of both the things, that will be enough for me. I mean, no need to give definition. Just give me one example of test scenario and one is the test case.
Okay, so for test scenario, let's say we have application, and
Mm-hmm.
the first is our login page. So
Okay.
login page is our test area, and test
Okay.
case is our provide the proper username and password.
Mm-hmm.
That comes under our test cases. So we need to execute that test case in our login page area.
Okay. So you
So
mean,
login page area
yeah.
is our scenario and test case is our username and password, whatever we
Yes.
are giving
So for
input.
one scenario, you have multiple test cases,
Test
right?
cases, right.
Okay, great. So can you tell me the difference between what is the bug and what is defect?
Yeah, so bug, when our product is in development stage or is in testing stage, and we occurs something, a problem in our application, and the features is not working properly and we are receiving some kind of errors, so that time we consider as a bug. But when our software is go live and come in the production, and that time we have found any error, any problem, that let's say our a feature is not working, so that time we call it as a defect.
Are you sure? I mean, who raised the bug?
Yeah, testers raise the bug.
And what about defect?
Defects is like a client will let us know that this feature is not working, so they have raised the defect.
Okay. Okay. So, do you know what is progression testing?
Progression testing.
Yes.
At this moment, I'm not aware, but I
Can
will
you
check
try
later.
based on the word, can you try it? What is progression means that?
Progression is means like progress in work, work in progress, like so.
Yes. Yeah,
So
so
that
that
time,
is the only meaning of that progression testing is. Okay.
okay, got
Yeah, so
it.
I mean based on the name itself, it is a progression testing. So
Hmm.
yeah, so basically this term we basically use very less, but it is something which we are doing like about what all features we have right now. I mean the new features that we are checking, that we can call it as a progression testing. Okay, like
Okay.
we have a regression testing, but in a regression testing what we check exactly is what we I mean the developer is already developed it, right? So we just run the regression suite and check whether all the existing functionality is working fine or not, right?
Yeah.
But in progression testing, it's a progression means the developer developed the application and you are testing the new feature of the particular uh, what we can say, what developer is developed, right?
Right. Got
Yeah.
it.
So yeah, no problem. Can you tell me the bug life cycle? Now, I mean, how the bug is you find out, and then what are the step you will take, and how we can, close the bug. So, what is the entire life cycle of the bug?
Yes. In bug, when we raise the bug, so the first stage is come under open stage,
Okay.
and after when we raise that bug is come under open stage, later get assigned to the development team, and then it comes under assign stage, and after the developer fix that bugs, if then again we will do retesting
Retesting. Yeah.
on that bug, and if the bug we are satisfied that bug is fixed properly, then
Yeah.
we will close. But if the bug is not fixed from our end, then again we will reopen. And
Okay.
in some cases, if the bug got rejected in in there are in some conditions, if bug got rejected as a duplicate,
Okay.
then we will check our defect report and compare that our bug is duplicate or not, or if in some condition if it is get deferred, so
Okay.
the bug will be fixed on later next releases.
Okay.
And if the bug is rejected, and then we will check that our requirement matches the bug feature or not. And these are some conditions, and if that conditions are correct, and if we raise correct bug, then we will get it fixed, and after proper fix we get, then we will close the bug, and this is the last stage.
Okay, yeah, that's a great explanation. I mean, you have explained the conditions as well. That's great. Yeah, no problem. Uh, can you also tell me Suppose consider a scenario. You,
Hmm.
a developer developed one feature and he deployed the changes in a QA environment, and you tested over there and everything works fine. Okay, based on the acceptance criteria. But
Hmm.
now the same cheese is deployed to the UAT environment.
Okay.
Okay, so and but in the UAT environment you find there is some issue.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, what you have tested in QA environment, but it is not reflecting the same as in UAT environment. So, what is your approach? I mean, how you will tackle this situation and make it correct in a UAT environment as well?
Yeah, firstly, I have checked the configuration part, and later I have checked the logs, whatever if I found anything related to the errors,
Okay,
and I have checked the event viewer from my end, and if I didn't found anything, then I'll reach out to the developer,
okay,
and if he is not ready to take that bug, see anything,
mm-hmm.
then I have take a screenshot, timestamp, everything. I have collected all the data,
Okay,
and I have provided to developer, and still he is not agree to fix that environment. Then I will reach out to product owner, and I will conduct a small call for that, and I will get it fixed from the developer.
okay, that's great. Yeah, definitely, that's all step we need to take care when
Yeah,
such situation
firstly
happen.
I have research on my self,
Yes,
and
yeah.
I will try to find, and if I didn't get any, then I will reach out to the developer.
Yes, sure. So consider one scenario. Before
Hmm.
considering one scenario, just let me know. Suppose you have one text box, okay?
Yeah.
And in the text box, you have to enter 7 as a number, okay?
Okay.
So
Yes.
what are the ways, multiple ways we can add 7 in that text box? Can you tell me?
Yeah, we can use testing techniques for that
Yes.
to enter the seven number. Uh,
So which technique you will use, or how, I mean, just explain me like how you can add 7 in that particular text box, or how many ways you can enter 7 in that text box.
are you mean seven digit or only
7
seven
digit.
number?
Yeah, 7 digit. I mean, there's only 7.
Okay, so
Yeah.
seven digit. If we want to add, then I will go through the boundary value technique. I have used that, and I will try to enter that seven digits into that text field.
But how? That's what I wanted to know that. Like,
I will give inputs to the seven digits, and I will try to give positive inputs as well and negative input as well.
no, no, I don't want positive, negative. I'm just asking you need to enter 7 number. Only 7, okay? One single digit 7 you have to enter in the text box. So how you gonna do that? That's what my question is. You understand?
Mm, yeah, I understand, but I have entered the seven number on that
Just
text.
just simply think you have one text box in front of you, okay?
Hmm.
And you have to ask, you have somebody ask you to just enter 7 over there. So how can you do that? I
On
mean,
keyboard, I will enter seven number.
yeah, so that's one way. Like you have entered 7, but what are different ways you can enter the same 7 number over there?
On our digital keyboard from laptop.
No, I mean, I'm not asking related to a keyboard something. I mean, let's break this. I mean, what I wanted to listen from you. Suppose you have a text box and you want to enter 7, one single digit. So what you can do first, you will enter 7, right? Then you can do 7.0 over there, right?
7.0, yeah,
Yeah,
right.
then you can maybe try like how many numbers of after decimal, how many number of digit it will take to enter 7 over there. Then in a Chrome browser, if you see, if you are entering the number in a text box, you have a kind of up and down button over there. You can click on that, then 7 number will be printed over there, right? So
Yeah, right.
that way also you can enter. I mean that's what I'm expecting. I mean how we can add the 7 over there. Okay.
Okay, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
got it.
no problem. So can you tell me, suppose you have a calendar, okay? So can you
Okay.
tell me what are the 5 positive test cases and 5 negative test cases for a calendar?
Yeah, in positive test cases, there are 31 to 30 days. So I have checked that if I added 1 to 13 um, class partitioning, so that I am able to enter the numbers or not.
Okay,
And let's say there are week in a week there are days Monday to Tuesday, so I will enter Monday, Tuesday accordingly,
okay.
and I will try to get that input I'm getting or not.
Mm-hmm.
And for negative, I have tried the negative dates I will enter,
How you
and
will, no, no, you have a calendar as a, what we can say, that widget you have. Okay,
yeah.
so once you click on a calendar, it will pop up some calendar widget. So you don't have any option to, just manually enter 7 or some other
So
date.
I will try to add 32 or 0.
But how will you do that? I mean, you have a widget, right? So in a widget, it is already there. The numbers are already, fixed 1 to 31 in a X number, X month, or in another month, you have 1 to 30 as a entire day, right? So how will you do that? I mean,
Okay. So for that, um, 1 to 30. Then I will try to add one from 1 to 30. I will try to add twice.
how will you do that? 1 to 30 twice?
I will double click on that particular date, so it will
Okay,
take input or not.
okay, that is the one. I mean,
Yeah,
you can try that out, but I don't think so. It is that much valid, but yeah. Also, can you think of any another negative test case? You have simply, calendar widget, and you have to interact with that, and you have to test it out, like what all positive, what all negative you can, test it for a particular calendar.
yeah, right. And after that, I will try uh, to
Are you not able to check the size of the calendar widget it is opening, whether it's a
uh,
too small or whether it's clickable,
yeah, I will
whether it's a
try that too.
movable?
That also.
Yeah,
The GUI on that,
yeah,
the digits are clear or not, the spellings are correct or not, Tuesday,
yes,
the dates and
yes,
dates are proper in format or not, the coloring is good or not.
yes.
That part I will check.
Now you understood, yes. So no problem. Yeah, that's what I just wanted to bring it out. Like this way also. I mean, sometime we don't have to interact with the a thing like a calendar or maybe anything, but apart from that thing, we can also check the GUI, UI, how the look and feel for a user, how user see as a that particular requirement. I mean, user is able to click that or not. So that thing also is important, and which comes under negative test cases as well, right?
Yeah, right.
Okay, consider one more scenario. Suppose you have one application, not an application, but one drop down you have. Okay, so
Okay,
over there, the drop down is all about basically selecting the age. Okay, so
okay,
in that, there is three options are there in a drop down. One is a person. So basically that application is all about, if you are 18 plus, then you are able to vote for a country, right? I mean, for a particular minister or maybe prime minister or president, anything. Okay, so
yeah,
basically you are a eligible person if you are 18 plus to vote. Okay, so
okay,
you have a age as a one drop down in which you have a three options. One option is you can select from 11 to 18. Okay.
Okay.
Another option is you have 19 to 30.
Okay.
Okay. And third option is 30 and above.
Yeah.
So can you tell me what all, I mean, the technically what all there is problem in this requirement, and you should, rectify it from your PO or the business analyst.
Yeah.
If you want, I can repeat the question once again, but uh, just you want me to repeat that?
Yeah. Once you can repeat.
Yeah, so what you have to find out, you have to find out the what technical issue in this particular requirement is. Okay, because as a tester, first you need to understand the requirement, then only you can take action, right? So you have one age drop down, and in which there are three options to select. First one, you can select based on a person age is from 11 to 18. Okay, first option. Another option is 19 to 30, 30, and third option is 30 and above. So,
Okay.
so what technical issue you see in this requirement and you want to, rectify it?
Yeah. If anyone wants to vote and he or she is above than 50, then
Mm-hmm.
this three buttons will not help to him or her for selecting her age group.
Yeah, but let it be, more than 30 plus, let it be for that. I mean, if it is not a 50 plus, but you have three option and you have to select one of the options. Okay. That
Yeah.
is good thing you have observed that, like if somebody is 50 and he or she will not able to, vote because they will not able to select the option from that.
Mm,
Right, but I have already mentioned the third option is 30 and above. That means that person is 40,
okay.
45, 60 can vote. Okay.
If we select any of the requirement,
Mm-hmm.
then it will gives us the range, not a
Yeah.
particular digit. What
Okay.
is our age and what is the average and we are able to vote or not. So it gives us a range. So that is our main problem
But
according to me.
no, it's not a problem, because if you are 18 plus and you have option to select, right?
Yeah.
So government of any government don't want to, reveal their person's age, but the only thing they want to know, if the person is 18 plus, there is option, they can select it and they can, go for the vote.
Okay. So
So
I will check that drop down is properly means
but no,
movable or not.
that is all we can say, that it is a normal requirement it is not a technical requirement, right? So I what I have mentioned in that, there is one technical issue that you need to figure it out. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. So the technical mm,
So you have three option. I am repeating question once again for the last time. You have first option is 11 to 18, 18. The second
yeah.
option is 19 to 30, and the third option is 30 and above.
Okay, yeah, I got it the options,
Yeah.
but I couldn't found the technical issue.
Okay. So should I tell you like what will be the technical issue here is?
Yeah, you can tell me.
So basically, if you listen carefully, then I have given three options. One is the 11 to 18. Okay.
Yeah.
Another one is 19, not 18, 19 to 30. Okay. That,
Okay.
and the third option is 30 and above. So I am repeating this 30 in two of the options, right? One is
Right.
one is 19 to 30, and another third option is 30 and above. So basically, this is the technical requirement where 30 is involved in second option as well as third option as well, right?
Yeah,
You
right.
got it?
Yeah,
Because
got
if
it.
your age is 30, then what option you are going to select? Second or third, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Because
it
you
will
fall
get
under,
help.
yeah, because you fall under the age of 30, and it is showing in the option 2 and 3 also,
Yeah,
right?
correct. Yeah.
So yeah, no problem. I mean, this is something which is very tricky because at the time of listening this question, you have to figure it out like what is missing in this thing in this particular question, right?
Yes.
No problem. Okay, so let me ask you a few more question. So yeah, you basically work in Agile, right?
Yes.
So can you tell me what are the ceremonies you know about the Agiles?
Yeah, firstly is the requirement meeting. So in that ceremony, we have gathered the requirements from BA from uh, the outside of the company. What are the trending market requirements, everything.
Okay.
So for that, the first is requirement ceremony,
Mm-hmm.
requirement meeting. Second is designing.
No,
So
no.
in
I am asking agile ceremonies. So have you heard sprint planning,
yeah,
those
yeah.
things? Yeah. So the requirement and designing this is all part. I don't think so. It is a part of agile ceremonies.
Yeah, sprint planning meeting is also there.
Mm-hmm.
Retrospective meeting is there. Daily
Okay.
stand-up call
Okay.
is there, and
There is one
uh,
more.
daily stand-up calls, sprint planning, uh, and retrospective, and
There is one more sprint review, right?
yeah, sprint review. Right.
Okay. So in sprint review, how you are contributing in a sprint review?
In my team, we mostly do the test cases, and for the review, we will peer to peer review
No, no.
also.
In a sprint review, what happens? Can you tell me in a sprint review what happens?
Uh, yeah, in that meeting, we have review our all the test cases and test data, everything.
No, so that is something another review, okay, where you write your test cases and ask your colleagues or maybe your senior team like can you review my test cases? That is the something different review, right? But in a sprint review, what happens basically, whatever the things completed by the developer and by the QA end in a particular sprint that you are going to demo to your customers or maybe your stakeholders. So basically whatever all task you have completed in a one sprint, that you are going to demo in a sprint review. Okay, so that
Okay.
is the meaning of sprint review. And review is something else what you are saying right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so okay, so as I see that, like you mentioned you have some knowledge on automation side as well. So have you worked on the automation side, or you have just learned these things?
Yeah, currently I didn't get the opportunity to work
Okay,
on the automation side, so I'm currently getting training of and I will learning the automation as well.
okay, okay, fine. That's a good. So you, what is the test management tool you are using for writing the test cases?
Yeah, I'm using currently Selenium.
No, test management tool. I mean, you have to write.
Okay,
Suppose, yeah,
writing.
yeah, test
Yeah,
cases.
for writing test cases, I have used Jira.
Okay. And for reporting the bugs, how you, I mean, what platform or the tool you are using? Jira?
Yeah, on Jira as well. Inside that Jira, we have report the bug.
Okay, okay. I mean, for test management and for reporting the bugs, you are using the Jira tool only.
Yes.
Okay, so can you tell me what is the difference between integration testing and system testing?
Yeah, in integration testing, once the developer develop the software and after all the parts, all the features are integrated, then that time at early stage we perform the integration testing.
Okay.
And we check that all the features are working combinedly. After combining
Mm-hmm.
all the features, we check that application is working or not. And in
Okay.
system testing later, we will check a particular module thoroughly. We will check one by one, and deep testing we will perform in the system testing.
Okay, so can you just because as per your answer, I am little confused. So can you tell me what is the difference between module testing and system testing?
Uh, yeah, in system testing, we have done the module testing as well as and end-to-end testing as well as means
Okay.
all the deep testing we have performed on a single module as well, and simultaneously the other modules as well. But
So
in module
yeah.
testing we have done only one by one.
Okay, so you mean that in a system testing, you are testing the entire application in a, we can say that in a one go, right? I mean,
Yeah,
from end to end testing, from login to doing some payment and buying something on e-commerce site or something else, right?
right.
Okay. Let me ask you some more questions. So, do you have any knowledge apart from manual testing? Like you are learning the automation, right? Right now,
Yeah,
but I can see you know the MySQL also, right?
yeah, right. Little bit.
Okay, so can you tell me what are the joins are there in SQL?
Yeah, there are several joints, left joint, right joint, inner joint, outer joint.
Okay, and what is the difference between primary key and foreign key?
In primary key, the primary key is like a unique key in a particular data table.
Mm-hmm.
And when we come and check the foreign key, in foreign key, the unique key, whatever the present in our previous table,
Mm-hmm.
is used again,
Okay.
and comes becomes foreign key. Like means there are
So can you just give me one basic example so that I can understand, yeah, that is the primary key and that is the foreign key.
let's say one is like data of the employee.
Okay,
So in that employee ID is a unique key,
okay.
primary key for that table,
Mm-hmm.
and same employee key comes in like organization data.
Okay,
So we have used that same employee ID in that particular data, so that will become foreign key.
okay, yeah, understood. Yeah, that's something which I understood. Yeah. Okay, and also, so you know the Gates and Jira. Okay, no problem. Okay, I think I am done from my side. Yeah. So that's good enough. Like what all things I just wanted to know from your side. So yeah, that's really good. Okay.
So do you have any feedback for me?
Yeah, just one feedback I will give you. Okay. Whatever things you know that you delivered it very good. Okay, in a very deep, and you are letting the interviewer understand what you are saying, and everything is good. Okay, but
Mm-hmm.
whatever things you are not knowing thoroughly, so that time you have to try it out some answers. I mean, if I ask regarding the progression testing, so instead
Yeah,
of telling directly I don't have any idea or something, you should try it. I mean, you can say that like let me try it out. If I'm wrong, let me stop it over there. So that approach will be good for it will show that like you are trying to answer it, whether it's a
yeah,
wrong or right. So that thing you have to take care. And yeah, from manual testing side, you know the things very good, but few things what I have noticed at the start of the interview, like as I ask you the STLC phases. So over there you have lacked somewhere. Okay, you know
Yeah.
the phases, but right now at that time you did not able to
Yeah,
answer it.
properly I
Yeah,
have
explain
not
it,
answered.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
so that is the one thing. Also, in the agile part, I have noticed, I have asked you sprint ceremonies, right? I mean the agile ceremonies, but what you are trying to give answer something else only.